Kia ora New Zealand, I'm Philip Duncan. Thanks so much for joining us. Well, we've got this wintry blast on the way. In fact, it's one of three that are coming over the next week and a bit. And the first one comes in on Thursday morning in the lower South Island, moves up the country on Friday, and by Saturday it peaks nationwide. Let's kick off with the wind map for Wednesday. Look at this deep large area of low pressure. So this large area here, all sinking low pressure. High pressure though just to the north. That means the South Island's under low pressure. That's why it's pouring with rain on the west coast and going to get even windier for you. While on the north, not so bad for another day or so. You're on the outer edges of it, under more of the high pressure side. So a fairly pleasant Wednesday with a bit of a breezy westerly still blowing through. Not as bad as it was on Tuesday. It's also helping keep temperatures well above normal for this time of the year. All of New Zealand is warmer than average for Wednesday because of this westerly or northwesterly airflow. And the temperatures start to drop though on Thursday as that rain starts to arrive and the southerly comes into the south. So let's make sense of that a wee bit. Here is Thursday's setup. This big blue line, that is the wintry southerly. As you can see, it's already out over on the Australian side, Tasmania, Victoria, even a part of New South Wales getting that cold airflow. It'll reach the southern part of New Zealand in the late morning. It moves up the South Island across Thursday and into the North Island gradually on Friday. And like I say, it really peaks about Saturday across the country. There is a lot of rain coming for the west coast, and that's where we start our focus at the moment. Big rainfall totals up here. This is into the 250 to 300 millimetre mark. This is just for Thursday. This is just Thursday's setup. So a lot of rain coming on that western side, very little for the east. That's at the very bottom of the scale, 1 to 10 millimetres spilling over to this eastern side. But as I say, 300 millimetres up in this area on the central side of the west coast. And then at night, in comes the cold weather. All these places here are below zero. And it's not calm, it's windy and wet. So that means it's falling as snow in all of these areas pretty much. So yeah, cold weather is on its way. So Friday looks like this. The blue line, not so much over Australia now. They've got that big high coming in. We've got the blue line moving up the South Island, an area of low pressure. We have a cold front that moves over the North Island. It drops temperatures, but it's not the main event. The main event is still down here, and it is working its way northwards later on Friday and perhaps going into Saturday morning. So this is Saturday around the country. Deep low pressure off to the east coast. A big southerly flow that goes right across the South Island and turns a little bit more southwest over the North Island. That will drive in showers, some heavy and squally. There'll be a few isolated thunderstorms and hail showers as well, moving up the country. There's a clearance on the west coast. The sun comes back out there. That's the end of your rain. And everyone else, the rain's moving up the southern and eastern sides of the South Island and the southern and western sides of the North Island. Eventually, it will come into Hawke's Bay as well on Saturday. To Sunday, it's more on that eastern side of the country. The blue line, it still goes right up, so it's a cold day across the country, but as you can see, a big chunk of New Zealand on Sunday is dry with those southerly winds blowing through. There's still southwest around Auckland and Northland. There might be a couple of isolated showers in there. The more southerly that wind goes, the drier it gets for the north, but there will still be these showers and wintry conditions continuing on the eastern side. And our final map is for Queen's Birthday Monday, our final holiday, our final public holiday for nearly half a year, so it really matters. And so at the moment, it isn't actually looking too bad. This is the stormy stuff for Saturday and Sunday. It's moving away. The dark blue line that indicates the thickness of the, well, basically the coldness. That's probably the easiest way before I get too technical. The cold line is there, so that is going south. And so things are warming up. There is a westerly change starting to come through. Still a few showers though around the western side of the country. They're coming back in again, but the temperatures will lift up. And eastern areas that were miserable on Sunday look warmer and sunnier by Queen's Birthday Monday. So a lot of moving parts. By the way, this comes in for Tuesday, nationwide rain. And by the end of next week, we might have a wind event on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So we're definitely in a change to our weather pattern now. That is all from me. We'll update you again on Thursday.